Small business owners are overpaying the IRS because they don't know these 12 tax deductions. Hi everyone, I'm Anderson Please. I'm an enrolled agent and a QuickBook Pro advisor at infinitytax, and now let's cover these 12 tax deductions. First and foremost, you need to understand how your business is set up for tax purposes because that could change everything. The easiest and worst option to be is a sole proprietor because that's just you as your business has one. A sole proprietor gets audited at a rate of 600 to 80% higher than other business structures, and they lose about 94 to 95% of those audits. They also end up paying more in taxes, so you have to just get rid of that option. If your business net profit is $50,000 to $70,000 or more, you want to operate as an S-Corp. But if you're making well over that and you want to raise capital, then you can go ahead and be a C-Corp. So a C-Corp pays its own corporation tax. A S-Corp, the profit and loss flows through the owner's personal tax return, their 1040. So that's pretty much all the difference there is between those two. One thing I didn't really get to mention is a partnership. Because a partnership is really just like a sole proprietorship with just more than one person. If you have a business partner, you are a partnership if you run a business together. Bottom line is, if you want the lowest audit risk and the biggest tax incentives, you want to operate as an S-Corp or a C-Corp. If you're a shareholder and a member of an S-Corp or a C-Corp and you're an employee, then you qualify. Your company can reimburse you and take the deduction, and you never have to report that reimbursement on your personal taxes as income. So if your company benefits from your phone, your data, your home internet, it can reimburse you up to 100% of those costs, and you don't have to recognize it as income on your personal taxes. When it comes to the home office deduction, forget the sole proprietor $5 square foot safe harbor. That's kind of like a bad deal. Instead, you can calculate the direct cost of paint, furniture, wiring, which is 100% reimbursable, and also indirect cost of mortgage, property tax, depreciation over 27 years and a half. So all you need to do is just a reasonable method to determine what percentage of the home is used for business and usable square footage for work. Whatever the amount is, the company can reimburse you so you can write it off as an office expense. So just pay yourself what a third-party venue would pay for the reasonable charge for the space, equipment, and service provided. And if this comes up in an audit, as long as you have your proper documentation, you should beat it every time. So don't buy a vehicle inside the company unless you plan to use it for 50% or more for business. Think about construction trucks, and there's also luxury vehicle restrictions and personal use and tax consequences to worry about. The easier route is to track your mileage with apps like MileIQ, which work really well, and you can reimburse yourself at the IRS standard mileage rate, and your company can write it off as an expense. Meals are 100% reimbursable to you, though that the company's deduction may be limited, currently around 50%. Though this has been shifted over the years, check the current rate. Entertainment, however, is no longer deductible at all since the 2017 Tax Cut and the Job Act. As long as there's a legitimate business purpose, the reimbursement isn't taxable to you, even if the company's write-off ended up being limited. When it comes to equipment for your business, like as computers, cell phones, or medical industry specific equipment, this can qualify for Section 179 and up to $1 million. You can do 100% bonus depreciation. Even if you finance the purchase, you can still do the 100% bonus depreciation and get the tax benefit on your taxes that same year. Now, if the business days outnumber personal days on a trip, the 51% rules apply. The company can reimburse you up to 100% of transportation costs, and a workday simply is traveling only about 4 hours. Even if a single meeting happened, it can justify the trip. Courses and training that improves your existing business are reimbursable. Education for an entirely line of business is trickier, but if you formally just set up a new business, you may be able to go back and capture those costs as startup expenses. Startup costs is currently at $5,000 immediate deduction, with the remainder amortized over 15 years. Organizational costs such as legal, accounting fees, and state filing fees are reimbursable up to $5,000 per entity. Now, you have 401k retirement plans. 401k lets you defer a portion of your salary plus the contribution. A defined benefit plan can allow a high income earner to contribute as much as $1 million as long as the plan does not discriminate against other employees. Reasonable wages deduction. As an S-Corp owner, you have to pay yourself a reasonable salary, roughly 1/3 of profit, per common case law guidance. The rest comes as a distribution, not subject to 13.2% self-employment / Social Security tax. C-Corp owners can skip the salary entirely and just leave the profit tax at the corporate level. S-Corp get a 20% deduction on qualified business income, with some limitation for specified service business and income phase out. C-Corp don't get this, but they already benefit from a low flat corporate rate of 21%, so each structure has its own trade-off. Pay your kids or your family members a fair market wage for their work, and depending on the amount, their tax situation, that their income may not be taxed at all thanks to the standard deduction. So that's 12 major tax deduction and strategies for small business owners. And the point is, everything is not deductible for a sole proprietor. It's totally the opposite. For S-Corp and C-Corp, they get more write-off, so sole proprietors do not get. And sole proprietors lose about 94 to 95% of their audit. Based on the last IRS breakdown, despite that, roughly 70% of small business still operate as a sole proprietor, facing 800% likelihood of an audit. Once again, I'm Innocent Please, and if you need help with bookkeeping or business tax preparation, click the link in bio for a free consultation, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and see you next time. Thank you.